Welcome to Indie Tea with your host, me, Peter Lancelotti. And today we have a wonderful, mysterious guest from Colorado, Nick from Fenix Falling. Welcome, Nick.
Hey, thank you, Peter. Wonderful to be here.
So let's dive right in. Phoenix Falling. That's a name with some serious imagery behind it. A phoenix usually rises, but yours is falling. Was that a deliberate bit of poetic mischief, or did the name find you?
Okay, I meant it. So this was intentional because uh, the life cycle of a phoenix is circular. Phoenix reborn from its ashes, it will rise. So before we get to that point, that phoenix is going to have to fall, and so Phoenix falling is the starting point for this project.
Interesting. Now, Colorado isn't exactly the first place people picture when they think of an indie hotbed, indie music hotbed. Has living in the mountains shaped your sound, or do you carry your city energy right into the studio regardless of the altitude?
Well, of course, we're influenced by the artists that are around us, but keep in mind, Colorado with the venue like Red Rocks in our backyard, that is my playground. So
Your
I can assure
playground?
you, that's my
Yours is your
playground.
playground?
Absolutely.
Ah. All right, let's talk about a song that has been an earworm for me. Breathe. The other day, I was walking and I was singing this song in my head, and I'm going, "Who does this?" And I'm like, da 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 da, and I'm thinking, and I'm like, "What the hell is that?" And when I came back in the house, I turned on one of my playlists, and there it is. It's Nick of Phoenix Falling, because that's a song. When it comes on, something shifts in the room. Where did that song come from? Were you going through something and did it arrive out of nowhere like a musical ambush?
Okay, so the day I wrote that song, I was struggling with the desire like to end it all at that point. Um, I was sitting on the floor in the barracks. I was in the Navy at the time, hugging my guitar and seeking comfort. So post 9/11 in the area of the Patriot Act, facing the transition back to being a civilian, a memorial was created that can only haunt us. And I am absolutely haunted. Um, so I was left feeling that I had nothing left to give in that moment.
Wow, heavy. Breathe has a sort of total vulnerable quality to it, so I can hear what you're saying now. So that's kind of an is that a natural place that you kind of write from in your head, or was that just like a moment in history where you had to push yourself to let the walls down on that one?
Well, natural is kind of subjective. I was absolutely feeling that one. And so my feelings being infused with the music is absolutely natural. Is it natural for me to live in that place? No, that is not a normal place that I reside, though I do like, I live with depression, so I visit it from time to time.
I think many of us musicians do. I mean, I sometimes think I've written my best stuff when I'm depressed.
It's like the Colorado snow. It's a great
I'm
place
from
to
New England.
visit.
I'm familiar.
It's a horrible place to live.
Well, I'm from New England. I'm familiar with the 6 months of winter, 1 month of spring, 4 months of humid summer, 1 month of fall, back to 6 months of winter. All right, so walk us through what making a song looks like for you. Are you kind of like the kind of person that wakes up at 2 a.m. and records a voice memo on your phone? Or is it more of a let's like sit down and work through the process?
Actually, both things are accurate. Everything always begins with like that spark of inspiration, and I have to get that. So in that case, I'm definitely that 2 a.m. Recording into my phone just this idea so I don't lose it. Because if I don't write it down or record it, it's going to be gone forever by the time I wake up again.
Which would totally suck.
On the other side of that, I absolutely work through it. I come up with this little spark, this thing that I like just moves me, and I will work through it until a full picture emerges from it, and I write a full song. So both of those are absolutely true.
I kind of thought, well, that's why I asked you that particular question because when I was reading a little about your bio, I thought, not quite sure how you operate, but I guess I asked the right question. I'm assuming your most recent release was "Open Your Eyes," the radio edit.
Incorrect. So the most recent release is the album Fallout, which just dropped on Groundhog's Day.
Okay,
Um,
I missed
I,
that one because I thought to myself, "Open Your Eyes" is kind of an older song, and I thought you're too creative to wait that long to come out with a new one.
well, a matter of fact, we're celebrating the 1 year mark at this point of Open Your Eyes when it was
Yeah,
first played
March,
on the radio
March,
on Paul J's show.
March of 2025.
Yeah, March 2nd it was. So
Oh my God, that's my mother's birthday.
no kidding. Well, that's Phoenix Falling's Hello World birthday. So
She's still alive. She'll be 93 on March 2nd.
good for her. Now,
Uh,
I do have a release that is coming up. So the most recent release I released onto YouTube uh, on what was it, Friday the 13th? It's a song called My Life. It's a hip hop and rock infusion song.
was that on a playlist that was going around? Because I might have heard it and I might not have recognized that it was you because it was kind of a real in a different direction.
The most recent playlist I saw that on YouTube was through Frank Turzo's show, The Community Pulse. So it is on that playlist. So you may have happened across it.
Glad you
Uh,
brought up community because that is what this show is about building community within indie artists so that we can align ourselves with the algorithms because none of us have marketing budgets to do that. And if we work together, we'll be more visible. So,
we're capable of anything if we work together. We can take over the world.
well, I don't know if world domination is in my future, but I'm 64. I'm sort of tired of trying. Well, not trying to, make a difference, but trying to do the whole world domination thing. All right, every artist.
A boy can dream. The goal of life is to suck the marrow out of life. And we should be sitting here and then trying to feed that inner child within us. So that way we just make the most out of life and enjoy everything that we possibly can because life is fragile and it's way too short.
That is a very good philosophy. Every artist has a moment in their lives when they think, oh, wow, this is becoming real. People are actually listening to me. What was your moment?
So there's very varying levels of that real feeling. For me, I've had like little indicators along the way. Like back in high school, I would be in the practice room playing piano, and people would come by, stop, sit, and listen. And it's that kind of like moment where they're passing by and they stop to take a moment and just listen. I've had a lot of those throughout my life. So I haven't had that one like shock, this is real moment. And maybe that big moment is still ahead of me.
I think I had it when I was younger and I was playing in bands because now I don't. Now I do my work all remotely. Like if I do a collaboration or something, it's all done via DAW with the stems. You drop them into Dropbox.
Sure.
That's something I didn't think of asking you when I was writing out my questions. How many collaborations have you done, and with whom?
So collaborations, I haven't done a whole lot of collaborative work yet. Dead Perspective, they actually had me step in and do vocals for a track to try to give it some new life because they didn't like the direction it took in the past. So I stepped in, and they're currently working on the production side of things, like the mixing, mastering, and all of that. So that is going to end up being my first official collaborative effort, which is Dead Perspective featuring Phoenix Falling with Momento Amore.
That sounds exciting. I'll be looking forward to hearing that. Are you good with mixing? Because I gotta say, I'm releasing a combination of a David Bowie Linkin Park song, really unique. I don't think of myself as a great audio engineer. I've been learning from another person that he told me, please stop saying my name on every episode. Um, you know who
We
you
know
are.
who you are.
You know
And
who
we
you
love you. We do.
You have a gift for melody. Has there ever been a song that you absolutely loved writing, but could not figure out how to finish it and it haunted you?
Yes. Now, that being said, I actually have always felt that when it comes to like my vocal melodies, they're probably the weakest part of my songwriting. I've always believed that.
Oh my God. Breathe just makes me just. I go into this esoteric, mystical kind of mindset when I hear breathe.
So the vocal part of Breathe was written in two segments. So it started off with that riff that was just that drone. When I brought it the chorus drone, that came from my heart, right on the moment. So that song was actually created within one day.
Wow.
Uh, so the words just came out of me. The breathe into me. So
That was
that
the
came
part that I was
naturally.
walking on my. I'm like, who does this? I thought at first it was a Pink Floyd song. I'm like, no, it's not Pink Floyd.
Huge influence.
Pink Floyd.
Oh, absolutely. And I wrote a poem. Now, one of my processes that I use. So the days are turning, here we go again. I I actually took the pitches of the words I was speaking as I was reading the poem out loud, and that became the melody for the verse.
When you did the video, were you outside in Colorado?
Oh, absolutely. Like literally the mountains are in my backyard in
That's what I thought. I
Colorado.
was like, wow, that is like, even though it's just you standing there, it's visually stunning.
And for me, the video is like coming full circle with this song sparking in the Navy and me rooted in Colorado. I wanted to be rooted in Colorado visually for this.
It was beautiful. I mean, simplistic but visually stunning.
It doesn't hurt. It was a beautiful day outside.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, well, certainly not winter when you were doing that because I don't think you would have been outside with a short sleeve shirt on.
Oh, no, absolutely not. I'm going to Florida for winter.
Oh, people from when I was in New England, people used to say, how can you live in Los Angeles with all those earthquakes? And I'm thinking, how did we live in New England with all those hurricanes and blizzards? I mean,
We
come on.
adapt, we overcome. Actually, I completely did not answer your question at all. So the song actually is My Life, the one I just released on YouTube. It's going to be coming out on streaming services on March 13th. Uh, that song I've struggled with for years because it had to be right.
I get it because I started Movement of the Flowers when I was, wait for it, 18. I'm 64 and it's still not finished.
It's just I love the song. I've always listened to it. I jam out to it. But self-confidence in rapping, I don't think I'm the greatest flow master in the world. I'm not sure I'm actually built that way. But to pay homage to my friend who actually set me down the path of that song, I had to do my best to get it right. And I got it as right as that I felt that I could.
And that's March 13th, the release?
That's March 13th, but everybody can listen to it now on YouTube.
Ah, okay. Well, I will be doing that right after the show. Is there
But
any artist in your history that pointed you into why this is why I do this?
I've had a lot of influences. Johann Sebastian Bach with his Minuet in G major. I heard that song and I was consumed with how beautiful that song actually was and is. Uh, I still listen to it, but that one was a mark of this is an incredible thing that people can do in this world. And I was very young when that happened. And then I was playing the video game Final Fantasy, because I have a face of a geek for sure. And the music from Nobuo Uematsu, who composed and orchestrated everything for that video game, that rocked my world. And that was a moment where I said, I want to do this like with my life. This guy did it. I want to do that. And then we fast forward a little bit more. While I'm in Japan, I get introduced to this artist. She's a fusion artist that fuses different genres together. Her name's Sheena Ringo, and I would think that I would say she has the single most impact on the influences of my music.
Thank you. I was very curious about that. Now, as you know, the podcast is called NDT Demos to Discovery, and we love a good demo story. Is there an early demo of yours that's absolutely embarrassing, scandalous by today's standards that you could let us judge? No pressure, or all pressure.
I would actually absolutely love to participate in this. So in Colorado, in my garage, I have a cassette tape where I had this like household karaoke machine. And I would actually track and retrack back and forth. So I would have to go back to Colorado to find that tape because I'm actually really curious about the songs that are on there myself. But I found a clip from myself 12, 14 years ago where I did my best. The background is incredibly MIDI. I'll see if I can't clip that and then be able to.
MIDI?
Yeah, I did.
18 hours trying to figure out how to put cymbals on a damn MIDI track.
I think that you got through that very fast.
I didn't do it all in one shot. AI stopped me and said, you need a rest. I was trying to use my keyboard I use Studio One Pro 7, and I was trying to use my keyboard as the MIDI controller, and it was so funny. AI was trying all kinds of things with me. And then finally we decided that QWERT keyboard interface doesn't play well with Studio One because I was creating the pads on Impact XT, which is the drum machine, it has all the drum kits in it. And I was creating my own with, the kinds of, the reverb, the velocity, the whole thing I wanted. And then I had that all set. And then when I go to play it on, I could do it with the mouse. It worked perfectly, but the mouse can't control it. You got to use the keyboard to control it. I'd play that. An organ would come out of the speakers. An organ! And I'm like, okay.
I've never used a MIDI controller. All of the MIDI stuff are notes into sheet music that I plugged in by hand.
Well, I don't know if you heard my most recent release, The Ballad of the Witch's Road.
I did, and I actually re-listened to it yesterday.
Thank you. Listen to it some more.
I will. I listened to it a lot yesterday because that playlist of yours was fantastic.
Thank you. Well, I got to tell you, every instrument on there was microphoned in from a Yamaha PSR 520. None of that is MIDI. That is actually me playing. I didn't know how to do the MIDI, so I thought, just play the damn thing.
That's beautiful, and it came out great.
Thank you.
And it fits in perfectly with that playlist because that playlist is so smooth. I love it.
I try to do, like when I do a playlist, I try to keep it thematic where, if we're going to do calm music, we do calm music. If we're going to do like punk, we're going to do all punk. Or, hard rock, prog rock, whatever. So I try to do it that way because I know some people are, why isn't my song on there? Well, it's not really in the theme. All right. So, what's the hardest part of being an independent artist that nobody talks about, in your opinion? And that's the stuff that makes it into, a highlight reel.
Now, I'm going to answer your question, and you very well may cut it out of the show. No, I have a message of hope.
You have a what?
Message of hope, and you very well may end up cutting it out of the show. So the indie community has a time-honored tradition of getting in its own way. And I want everyone to imagine for a second. So Punk in the Corn's event, Woodstock in Iowa. Indie musicians, for us, It's like the coolest work conference that everyone could ever ask for. And imagine for a second that every single indie artist in the world has a promotional tour of the Road to Woodstock, where we actually all gather and attend this festival. If we did that, like, we would dwarf the numbers of events like Burning Man.
If you go back and give yourself one piece of advice right before you put out your very first release, what would it be?
So it's more important about the passersby stopping and listening to the music than it is for the ideal of like perfection in production. It's that moment where they're stopping and listening, that is connecting with music. And if I overproduce or try to put it to the standards that they're trying to sell, it doesn't, it loses that bit of authenticity and that connection with it. So don't hold back and go for those stopping passersby to listen to your music.
Thank you. That was a great answer. What does the rest of 2026 look like for Fenix Falling? Are we getting more music, live shows, or are you holding some cards rather close to your chest?
Oh no, my cards are very much in the open right now. So with Fallout being the first of three installments, I'm now on to the second installment. That's Tragedy's Child.
Is that a full album or an EP?
It's going to be a full album, 12 tracks. My Life is how the album ends.
Cool.
So we have Fallout, the Fenix Falling, and then we have a rough road ahead of us to get to that the song My Life. So you all are warned now. We're embracing the tragedy and Tragedy's Child this year.
For anyone who's ever, or rather who's never heard your music before and is about to press play for the first time, not necessarily the name of the song, but what do you want them to feel about Fenix Falling?
My music comes from a deeply emotional phase. I'm just gonna like address everybody like collectively. So I'm talking to you right now, and it's not about what I want you to feel from my music. I want them to tell me how they feel. People connect with my music in different ways. Like different people actually have different songs that they feel is my best song, which is a very unique thing that I never anticipated to happen. Some people think Fallout's like my best song ever. The Raven, I had a buddy tell me this is the best song you've ever written. So people connect with it on all different levels. And so why don't you tell me how you feel? I would love to hear it.
Me?
Yeah, let's start with you.
Yet. I haven't heard all of your material yet, but Breathe sticks out in my mind like an earworm. I mean, that song just, I could not get that song out of my head. Really haunting. Breathe, that was an earworm. I mean, in fact, I think it's on the same playlist. That one. And it's got, in fact, I think I called the playlist the earworm list. Because there's songs throughout history that I have, we're talking that spans 40 years, and you're on that list. So there you go.
Hey, thank you for connecting with my music. I appreciate that.
And the feeling that it evoked in me was a spiritual, esoteric, mystical, in touch with nature song.
I love that.
You know, and I do breathing exercises. So just the title itself had me fascinated. And when I watched the video, I thought simplistic, elegant, and you're an amazing singer. You have like really good pitch. I was talking about this the other day. I want to hear your opinion about it. I have been fooled by people who use AI generated voices to sing the stuff that they write. I've been fooled by quite a few of them, and someone told me that they are never fooled by it. Are you aware of when you're hearing a song that someone wrote with AI, that voice is AI?
Not always. Well, and there's a different. You have the AI vocals, And then there's a different function that a lot of EDM artists use. I can't think of what it's called right now, where they can actually program in the words, the voices, plot the melody line, and have a synthesized voice. But that's not AI. I can't tell the difference between those two.
You just ask AI to do this, and it picks a song, it picks someone's voice that they mimic, which I think that is a bad thing. That is a real bad thing.
That's a bad thing. I would love it if it was coming up with something new and unique.
I'll tell you, this is what bothers me. People think I'm a good singer. If I ever heard a song with AI generating my voice, I would have a cow.
I know one of the biggest like fears was, okay, make a song that sounds like Phoenix Falling,
Right.
and it deduces like my pattern of writing and accurately predicts the next song that I release. So I release that song and it gets copyright. I don't know if that will ever happen, like where I create my own original piece, but AI came up with my piece first. Like, but that's a wild conspiracy right there.
I watched a YouTube video where an artist generated an AI song that he wrote and sang, and then when he put it out, I think it was Suno, that company.
Suno's a big one, yeah.
Suno. I think it was that company. They were telling him that he didn't own the copyright to that song. They did. What? I wrote it. The AI song came after I wrote it. This is a real big contention that I have with that. All right. Let's get silly.
All right, let's do it.
A long time ago, I was involved with, wait for it, Fenix Fire Productions in New England.
Okay.
And this was back in the 80s when Cox Cable was just coming out with cable TV. And a friend of mine, we would do these children's stories. She wrote the stories. I was really good with, writing the music, doing filming, directing. Eventually, she became the director of some of the stuff that we did. And there's a character that I played. It was a demonic character. My face was half red, half black. I had hair at the time, and she moosed my head to look like I had horns. And I was the knight! Not the knights who say neat, but I was a demon that talked like that! So anyway, in your musical career, if your musical career were a Monty Python sketch, where would we be in the story right now? The heroic quest, the ridiculous argument, or the parts when someone expects someone to show up with a shrubbery, like the knights who say neat?
I think the most accurate does come from Monty Python and the Holy Grail, though, with Sir Lancelot running endlessly with haste towards you. And he's running towards the camera. Running towards the camera.
That one?
That's right. And I think that's my music career where I'm constantly running forever.
Every musician has a completely irrational pre-show or pre-recording ritual. What's yours? And don't spare the embarrassing details.
So I don't have any embarrassing ones. Whenever I go and put in a position where nerves become a factor, I always find my guitar pick and I will guard it with my life.
Give me that
Because
thing.
they will run off. These things have run off before. They will do it again. So, like, we're doing a podcast, like, I prepared my guitar pick.
Is that like a lucky charm?
I think it actually goes with the depression anxiety, where that is a
Sacred object.
yeah, it's kind of a sacred object. I find that guitar pick, and if I need to, it's right there for me.
Cool. If Phoenix Fire were forced to perform an entire set using only instruments made from household objects, no actual real instruments, what's your setlist survival strategy?
Well, I know how I'm starting. I'm going to start with a cover of Napoleon's 14th. I found them from Dr. Demento. They're a band from, I think, 1966. And they did the song, Remember When You Ran Away and I got on my knees and begged you not to leave because I go berserk? Well, you left me anyhow, and then the days got worse and worse, and then you see I've gone completely out of my mind. And, I mean, I'm not sure if you've ever heard that song.
I haven't.
But
it's
that's how I'm
good.
starting that set while I try to think of what
I think
else
that
I'm going to
covers
do.
The last question too about embarrassing moments. You know, I listened to, well, I watched your segment on YouTube, and I noticed that you're also a Doctor Who fan. So am I. Who's your favorite Doctor Who of all time? Mine's Tom Baker.
Actually, I love how David Tennant came out. He was rocking the Arthur Dent look, and from that moment on, I fell in love with him. Incredible performance, and I've enjoyed the whole series of actors. Like, that's how I was introduced, was through David Tennant, and I ended up going through and watching everything from
Well,
the
that was
beginning.
hilarious when you sent me that 8-minute segment last night. That was hilarious.
So I am a pretty quirky person by nature.
No.
And that video was from 14 years ago. So you are welcome to clip and use that video however you would like.
No, I'm not
I do have it unlisted though, so you
No,
got
I'm
a
not
private
gonna- I'm not
viewing
gonna
of
do
that.
No, but I really thought it was hilarious. I was just like, wow. Thank you for sharing that with me because, you know, that was kind of personal and a few obscenities in it that I wouldn't use on anything here.
Well, I was a sailor, so it kind of comes with the territory. I'm on my best behavior right now. Well, I do want to, so a sidebar, the useless item, a blank piece of paper.
What's that? A blank piece of paper?
Correct.
Oh. Last question. If the Spanish Inquisition unexpectedly bursts through your studio door mid-recording session, which, as we know, nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition, what song would you immediately start playing to confuse them long enough to escape?
I would immediately start playing Join Ice by Jesse Wells.
Anyway, I want to thank our audience here, and you are beginning to hear Breathe, one of my favorite Fenix Falling songs. And I want to thank Nick for being with us here today. Nick, thank you so much for taking time to be here on Indie Tea with your host, me, Peter Lancelotti. Thank you, Nick.
Hey, thank you, Peter, and thank you to everybody who's been along for the ride. Thank you for joining us today.
See you on the next episode of Indie Tea, Demos to Discovery.
When it all pours into rain, where do we go from here when it's all the same? Another person's idea of a sick game. Breathe into me. distance from an hourglass takes us to the past. One more chance to change our souls